So it's no surprise by now that companies are doing shady business practices in the gaming industry. One of the biggest culprits for doing a lot of shady business practices in the actual gaming community has to go to EA. If you remember in the last year, the biggest thing that EA did was actually put microtransactions into Battlefront 2, and a lot of people in the gaming industry actually were really mad about EA putting microtransactions into Battlefront 2 just because they were unnecessary microtransactions. They were actually helping the players. They weren't just cosmetic things. They were actually unlocking things in game, helping you grind faster, helping you level up faster, helping you get weapons faster and things like that. So you had an advantage if you paid up for the microtransactions into Battlefront 2, and it pretty much pissed off everybody in the gaming industry. And we all know everybody hates microtransactions. How can you blame them? How can you pay for a game that's $60 and then have to pump out even more money for microtransactions? When you on mobile, for instance, you're getting games for free. So when you're getting games for free, you really have no reason to complain about the whole microtransactions. But when you're paying your hard-earned dollar for video games, of course, everybody has the right to complain. And I don't blame everybody for complaining about the Battlefront 2 fiasco. That was just an absolute mess from EA, and EA deserves all the backlash they got from that. But they're not the only company who's done some shady business practices and just the microtransactions. There's been other companies who've implemented unnecessary microtransactions in the games. There's also been overcharging for the DLC, putting unnecessary DLC in games, and the list goes on and on and on of bad business practices when it comes to the gaming industry. Well, it looks like EA is not the only culprit who's doing some pretty shady things in the gaming industry. If you know a game called NBA 2K, NBA 2K is a pretty good basketball game. It is actually the best basketball game you can buy to date. They do a phenomenal job on basketball, so if you're into basketball, you're primarily playing NBA 2K, and NBA 2K is a good series, but the thing is, if you didn't know, and if you haven't been playing it in recent years, you will know that actually NBA 2K did actually implement some microtransactions into the My Career aspect of NBA 2K. They actually started implementing the microtransaction system into NBA 2K13 when My Career was actually around. Once you started playing My Career, you soon realized that there's a buttload of microtransactions. Now, to 2K's defense, 2K actually said, well, you don't actually need to buy the microtransactions for the actual My Career aspect of NBA 2K because you can actually earn points when you're actually playing the game depending on how you do. So the better you do, the more points you get, which means the less microtransactions you have to buy. But in fact, they were just hiding that. They were hiding the microtransactions under the rug because actually you pretty much have to pay for the microtransactions. It kind of sucked because when you were playing the My Career aspect of the NBA 2 games, it pretty much took you forever to get the free points that they were asking you when you did a game. Maybe you'd get 1,000 points, 500 points, but overall it took so long to grind. It was almost necessary to actually buy the microtransactions, which pretty much sucked. One thing that really pissed off a lot of people is when you tried to get a haircut. The haircuts were a cool aspect of the game, and you can change your hair in the game and get a new haircut, but the problem was the actual money required to buy the haircut was just so much. It was just insane and absolutely ridiculous. Why would they charge that much for haircuts in the game, which pretty much pissed off some people? And it was very expensive. So it kind of sucked that the My Career aspect of NBA 2K games kind of gets ruined with this whole microtransaction business practice. Well, some actual countries in the world right now are actually banning microtransactions, which is actually very nice. They're actually considering it gambling. So since they're considering gambling, some companies can't put microtransactions in the game. And since NBA 2K does have microtransactions in the My Career aspect of the 2K games, one country that's not allowing microtransactions right now is Belgium. Yet Belgium does not allow microtransactions because they consider it gambling. So here's the thing. NBA 2K has put out a statement saying, we did change the way NBA 2K plays. You can pretty much earn free points in the game. You can't actually earn microtransactions. You can't pay for more points if you wanted to pay your own points with your own hard-earned money. You can't do that since Belgium does not allow it. But here is the catch that 2K is actually pulling on this, and this is absolutely stupid and absolutely ridiculous. This just blows my mind, and I think everyone out there will agree, and I had to make this story over this. This is just absolutely nuts. The thing I'm talking about is since Belgium does not allow games to have microtransactions, since they consider it gambling, the thing is NBA 2K is actually telling everyone in Belgium to go talk to your local government to actually get these microtransactions back. They're saying, can you please go to your local yes, your local government and complain about not having microtransactions in your games. And this absolutely blows my mind from 2K. And at first I thought this was just a made up story. I thought this was baloney. I thought there's no way a company is that desperate for money that they're actually going to ask the people in Belgium to go to their government and actually cry out and say, please, can you put microtransactions in our game? We have to have microtransactions. You need to milk us for all the money that we're worth. If you don't milk us for all the money that you're worth, then I'm going to feel hopeless. I'm going to feel like a bad person. You have to put the microtransactions in the game, and you have to reverse the laws in Belgium. I thought this was fake and whatnot, but absolutely it is not a fake story. It is absolutely real. It is a real statement from 2K, and I will leave a link down in the description to show you, the guys, that this is a real story. So you can click on the article and you can bring the statement up exactly from 2K itself, and they're actually wanting people in Belgium to actually go to their representative and actually tell them to reverse the laws, to put microtransactions in the game. That just absolutely blows my mind. I don't even know why 2K is doing this. Sure, EA is a company who's done shady business practices like put unnecessary microtransactions into Battlefront 2, and even if you watched EA 2018, you will know at their press conference in 2018 E3, you will know that they actually stated as hard as possible, pretty much, they restated it over and over and over and over, that they're going to start putting microtransactions in games, but here's the catch. They're only going to be cosmetic stuff, so they're only going to be like clothing, hair, different avatars, and things like that in their game. They're not going to be microtransactions that are going to give players advantages, unlock stuff faster in game, give you stuff that you can only buy through microtransactions. I don't know how true that is, and I don't know if EA is going to go through with their promises that they said at E3, but at least they didn't go tell people to do something as crazy as 2K. I can't believe 2K is either desperate for money, or they're really trying to milk us for all they got, or maybe they're just really trying to screw us over. I really don't know the case with 2K, but 2K is absolutely ridiculous for telling people to go to their local senators, go to their local government in Belgium and tell the Belgian government to reverse the laws of gambling and put microtransactions in video games. You think anybody in Belgium's actually gonna go to their local government and tell them to reverse the laws of gambling and microtransactions in video games and to reverse it? I don't think there's a single soul out there that's actually going to go to the Belgian government and do what 2K is actually asking. 2K is just so pathetic and so stupid right now. I'm sorry. This just freaking boggles my mind that NBA 2K would actually ask for that. It really does make them look pathetic. It actually makes them look worse than the GOAT of the gaming industry, which is EA. It makes them look so pathetic. It's almost like I don't want to buy their video game at this point. They must be super desperate, and they must be really hard up for money. They have to find a new way to get money. It can't just be all about the microtransactions. If they're that hard up for money, then I'm sorry, I can't really help them. All you really have to do in the gaming industry is make a good product. If you make a good product, then why should there be this whole problem with the microtransactions? I know some companies out there want more money than what they're actually trying to get out of their video game. They're trying to get more than the $60 value out of a video game. But if you made a very good video game at $60 and you sold it to the public and it sells really well, then you can make a good, honest dollar out of your video game, because there's been video games that come out that are $60. They pretty much don't have anything in the video game, and they sell phenomenally, and they're making bank on that. So why would you need to put microtransactions in the game? And everybody knows NBA 2K series is phenomenal. It's one of the best basketball games you can buy today. So for them to tell everybody in Belgium to go get these microtransactions put back onto the game just doesn't sound right. It just sounds like that they're pretty much a weak company, that they're maybe they're greedy for money or something like that. It's just absolutely absurd what they're doing for NBA 2K18 in NBA 2K19 in Belgium. Anyway, it just boggles my mind, and I just can't believe this is real. But yes, it is real. Believe it or not. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from MyTech News signing out.